Alright, this will be the trade recap for Monday, July 21st, 2025. So looking at the market context going in, we've had this previous balance at these all-time highs that we've been in for a while. Broke above that on Friday, retested, broke below, and then reclaimed. So that was my main level I was watching from a higher time frame perspective. If we were above or below this level for bullish or bearish positions, that was the 6335 level. But zooming in a little bit more, I was really watching 6040 and or 6340. I don't know, typed that in wrong. And then 6325. Just because that would give me a little bit more confidence that the price was going to hold above the level. So this is the 340 area, and then that's the 25 area, which if we look back here as well, or no, that is the action I just pointed out. If we look back here as well, 2.5 has been somewhat key. So that's the plan. At open we get a nice hold right here at the 6340 level and just start pushing up. So that's my bias right there. We're holding above the 6335s. We bounced off the 6340, so now I'm looking for long positions. On this initial move, we formed a low volume node. Sorry, 1 second. We formed a low volume node at 46 through 43, which I was watching for a retest down in here. We never got that. We then had a positive delta at 6349, which I was also watching right there. So here's that low volume node in here. So I was watching it off of the open from that aggressive buying, and then I was watching this as well, the 49s for a retest. Never got that. So at this point, I'm just sitting waiting for another possible good bullish setup. We're just not getting any. And then right here is when we start breaking previous all-time high. We form another low volume here at the 57s through 53s. At this point, I did have it marked out when we got this retest, but I just wasn't seeing enough at that point in time to convince me to get in long just yet, which is, that's 950. So here's this break of all-time highs when we leave below this low volume node. And then, we get this retest at 950, but I was kind of saying to myself, like, everything looks good about this besides this, like, the size of the pullback. It's only 3 points. If this would have maybe come up another few points or so and then dipped into here, that's fine. But it's really hard to get long down here with risk below this level when there's a chance that we can't break the high of day and reject. Now, obviously, price did have a nice push up, but obviously you can't really... It's hard to say that at the time and predict that, and I'm happy with following my rules. So, we get another break, another push higher, and we leave another low volume node behind here, and it's not as significant, but it was something I wanted to watch at the 62s through 60s. So here's that 57, 53 area, low volume. And then again right here, the 62 through 60. We'll look at this. So you can see price just keeps rallying. I just keep coming up with new... I'm not getting FOMO because I wasn't able to get in on the position on any of this. I'm just looking for the next possible opportunity. So here's that low volume node I just talked about. And then I said there was a minor low volume node right here at 61, 62. So we get a nice pullback into this level. And you can see, like, I'm more confident taking this play because this pullback is the one I was hesitant on. 60 to 60 or 57, that's a 3-point pullback. But this goes from 69 all the way down to 62. So I'm like 6-7 point pullback. That's a lot more. It gives me a lot more room to have good risk reward and hold my risk under here and look for a break. Yeah, we got that low volume node I talked about. So then I wanted to see a retest of it and get some confirmation. At 10:12, I ended up getting my confirmation. We'll get into that here. So here's this aggressive pullback into the level. And then what I saw was this aggressive seller comes into this bid and it fills this bid here, but this bid stays, this bid rebids, holds this level. So I viewed that as a passive seller defending this low volume node. You can see the low volume node kind of on here as well. Seller defends that, or passive buyer defends that seller, and then boom, we get a nice rally up. Now, talking about my scale outs, originally I was looking for a little bit more of a move, but I realized kind of after I'd made my trade plan and adjusted mid-trade, because there is no reason at all to get greedy on this trade. Like, if price shows any signs of weakness above high of day, which is also all-time high, that you need to protect risk and get out a little bit. So originally I was looking for a 72.75 push, which is funny because that's doesn't tick it on here, but on my actual trading platform that was the top tick, which is just ironic. But I realized that that was not really the smartest target, and I started scaling out some of these on this high of day push because you can see aggressive buying coming in here, but we're not really getting the push higher. If we look at, so let's see, what time is this? Like 10:20-ish? If we look at the time in sales back at 10:20, this was the huge push that got us kind of to come up there. These orders here. And then up here above this new high of day, we had more orders coming in, and price was just not really getting super aggressive. So I started cutting a little bit of my position, reducing risk, and then just kind of as we rode up here, I got out a few more higher. Last one was taken on a trailing stop loss. I ended up netting just over 5 points on this trade, and I had about a 4-point risk at the start, all the way down here at the 60s. Which I did minimize as this trade went on, and with not taking much heat on this trade, I could have reduced the stop loss too, but I did have it where it was invalid. So all of this is trying to say I didn't end up getting a very good RR multiple on this trade, but with the conditions, how I had my stop loss and the reaction up here at high day and not looking to get greedy, that's just how it is. I'm going to have to accept a lower R multiple on this trade and just know that that shouldn't happen too often. But there's the buy. Here's where we start to scale out because price is slow above high of day. Originally only wanted to get out one, and we start slowing down more, get out another, which led me to get out another and another. And then we finally got a nice little push up, got out some more, and then this was taken at stop loss. But I'm not mad about how I handled this at all. This was played great. With this volatility, we got a good piece of the move. Yeah, that's going to be all for today. Looks like price is slowing down. Volume's not really high. That could change, but good patience and good execution. All right, peace.